Most people think that metabolic health is about doing the right things, like eating better, training even harder, being more disciplined. But the pattern that I see is not just people doing the wrong things, it's actually people misreading their body's feedback and then fixing the wrong problem. Fatigue, cravings, plateaus, those aren't failures, those are signals from your body. But if you interpret them incorrectly, you can turn a perfectly adaptive body into a stressed, stalled, and frustrated one. Today, I want to show you something a little different. We're not going to talk about hormones or supplements or a new dietary framework. I want to teach you how to interpret what your body's actually saying. Because your body is not broken, the interpretation is. Almost every new patient that I see has some version of the following story. I'm exhausted. I have cravings that I can't control. My weight won't move anymore. My body just doesn't seem to be cooperating. And then they usually finish with something like, something has to be wrong with me. But when we actually look at their labs and their routines and their lifestyle, most of the time what we see is not true dysfunction. I see adaptation. Your body is constantly answering one question. Is this environment safe, or do I need to protect you? That's it. Your metabolism is not a discipline test. It's a feedback system. And feedback systems only fail when you misread the data. So let's talk about the three signals most people misinterpret the most. Number one is fatigue. Most people interpret fatigue as, I feel lazy, I'm unmotivated, I'm losing my edge, I'm losing my mojo. But physiologically, fatigue is usually telling you something much, much simpler. Your system is under load, and that load may be poor sleep, high psychological stress, underfueling, overtraining, inflammation, circadian disruption. Fatigue is often an energy allocation decision by the brain. It's not a character flaw. It's a conservation strategy. And when you respond to fatigue with more caffeine, more training, like HIIT training and really intense training, less food, more pressure, you teach the system one thing. This environment is even more threatening than I thought. So the system adapts again, and in the wrong direction. Number two, cravings. Cravings are one of the most moralized experiences in health. People immediately label them as a lack of discipline, addiction, or just bad habits. But biologically, cravings are often a signal of inefficient energy, inadequate protein, super common, chronic stress, sleep deprivation, really common, or unstable glucose regulation. Your brain does not speak English. It speaks survival. Cravings are not asking you to fail. They're asking the system to stabilize. When you suppress cravings with excess willpower, stimulants, or extreme restriction, you don't resolve the signal, you override it. And then the brain responds the same way it always does when it's overridden. It turns the volume up. Number three, plateaus. Plateaus are where most people panic. People say, I must need fewer calories. I must need more cardio. I must be doing something wrong. But plateaus are often adaptive protection. When energy availability stays low for long enough, when training stress stays high for long enough, when recovery stays poor for long enough, the body doesn't fail, it just adjusts. It slows output, it preserves tissue, it reduces non-essential expenditure. That is not sabotage, that's survival physiology. A plateau is not your metabolism quitting, it's your metabolism protecting you. Here's the dangerous part. Modern health culture trains people to treat signals as obstacles. Fatigue, stimulate. Cravings, suppress. Plateau, push even harder. From the body's point of view, that is not problem solving. That is environmental escalation. You are teaching the nervous system, this environment is unpredictable. This environment is unsafe. This environment requires more defense. So the system becomes more conservative, even more guarded, even more resistant to change, not because it's broken, but actually because it's intelligent. And this is actually where high performers struggle the most. And I see this a lot. High performers are trained to override signals in business, in sport, in career. You push through discomfort, you outwork limitations, you delay rest. That can work remarkably well in certain external systems. It fails in biological systems. Because your metabolism is not impressed by discipline. It responds to perceived safety and available resources. Many of the most disciplined, high-functioning people I work with are not unmotivated. They are actually over-controlled. They mistake adaptation for weakness. They label protective responses as personal failure. And then they double down on the very behaviors that created the signal. Here's a simple reframe I teach inside my programs. Your body is not a machine. It is a closed-loop feedback biological systems. Just like any well-run organization, if a company starts missing targets, you don't fire the dashboard. You examine the signal. You look upstream. You ask what inputs changed. You ask what stressors increased. You ask what capacity was exceeded. Biology works the same way. Fatigue, cravings, plateaus are not the problem. In fact, they're information. Your results change when your interpretation improves. When you stop fighting signals, you start asking better questions. Is my recovery matching my output? Is my protein and total intake actually sufficient for what I'm asking my body to do? Is my stress load sustainable? Is my sleep truly supporting repair? Is my training building capacity or draining it? This is how progress becomes predictable. Not because you found a better trick, but because you stopped misreading feedback. If you take only one thing from today, let it be this. Your body is not broken, it's communicating. And the fastest way to derail your metabolism is not eating the wrong food. It is responding incorrectly to the signals your body is sending you. Inside my metabolic health program, this is exactly what we train. Not just what to eat, not just what supplements to take. We train how to interpret your physiology so you stop fighting your own biology. So if this episode helped you rethink what your body has been telling you, please like and subscribe and share this episode with someone who keeps blaming themselves for signals that are actually protective. Your body isn't the problem. It's all about the interpretation of the signals. We'll see you next time.